Hey folks, how's it going? Sorry for the delay, life kind of happened, but let's go over the Granblue Fantasy Summer Livestream announcements. First, we opened with the Granblue Fantasy vs news. After replaying the Siegfried trailer, we're met with a near reveal and a pretty damn terrifying finisher, followed by the reveal for the Mad Cyclone, Grimnir. Still, Anila got mentioned and had a small trailer, but they've been keeping her under wraps a bit. Release this ship, people, what the hell? The best news for the game actually came out of EVO, with the release date set for November and the game coming out in a standard version, a premium one with a 72 hours early access, and even a free version. The free one will still have crossplay, but a couple of limited features, like its roster limited to Gran and 3 extra characters on a time rotation, shorter story mode and fewer customization options. I've always been curious to try it, but I don't really play console games and the PC version was kind of dead in the water. A free trial and crossplay look like an amazing opportunity to jump in. Another weird thing came with the Relink announcements, or lack thereof. They played a couple of trailers but didn't mention the game again, which I found pretty strange considering they had a demo running on the conventions floor. I was kind of betting on having a large gameplay showcase to build up hype for the winter release, but apparently not. That's another tile that won't get crossed. As for the actual Granblue news, we opened with the upcoming summer characters. First in line, Toriyama Now's husband, Cyril. Followed by a super cute and super core Yukata Vampi. Third in the list, a cute blonde ref, but it's not Razia. Still not mad though, cause Yukata Nila completely justifies saving as much as possible for a spark on this banner. They gave away so many roles that with a little bit of saving, it should have been possible to do a double spark here. Gotta keep this in mind for the future. Anyway, the next summer's summon goes to Tira, and she's followed by the new summer EX skins for Sandalford and Europa, as well as the new paid ones for Six and Makura, which are already available. Makura especially was kind of a surprise. She hasn't appeared in anything or has been mentioned in anything ever since her release, while the Tigers have already been in a collab and 2 events by now. Still, this skin looks nice, I just wish we got to know the characters better. Lastly, Ulysses is also about to get a new skin, this time added to the login shop. Next up are the upcoming events, opening on August 16th with the Arcarium Gaiden for the Tower, which will come with the usual new character pose. These will be followed by a Marionette Stars rerun on the 22nd and hopefully a new chapter of the story as the September main event, while the Romeo and Juliet one will rerun 1 month after. Early September will also see the first coming of the Exo Cocytus with the new usual weapon and the Eternity Sand reward, while from September 20th we'll have the Wind-favored Guild War. Pretty standard schedule so far, even though I'm missing a Wrath of the Beast rerun. Next up was the new class announcement. As expected, it's the Bandit Tycoon Tier 5, upgrading to King. The heads and coats look cool as hell, as the class itself will of course be an assassin type with extra bounty mechanics. King will be yet another tier 5 class relying on dual wielding, but this time the weapon combination is a forced dagger plus gun. Neither weapon class is what I would define as prolific, so we might have to dust off some old weapons from our inventories to run it. It's coming out next week, so we'll give it a better look then. 5 more tier 4 classes are listed for their ultimate masteries to be released down in November, Lumberjack, Robin Hood and Chrysaor being the ones I'm most curious about. Continuing with the revitalization project, 12 more characters are about to get a rebalance. They are all hyper limited, so hopefully we're going to see some pretty neat buffs coming with this wave. Really keeping my fingers crossed for Summer Grea, Christmas Magisa and Summer Yulin here. Later this month we're also going to get the new Pride of the Ascendant fight. This time it's an Earth Zwei and she'll have combat system V2 mechanics. On the same day, the Disciple Summons will also get their 4-star uncap, bringing the elemental attack boost to 160% and adding some new effects to their calls. Next, the announcement for the Xeno solo fights to join the Pro Skip feature on August 16th, and getting some company in November from the Magna 2 ones. If Google is translating this right, there's also going to be extra solo fights or Magna 2 Plus afterwards. Always listed for November is the addition of the 6 new Diaspora tier weapons, and I seriously hope these are going to be mostly good, especially since they're going to dilute the Sette di Spade pool. They mentioned there's going to be a new strengthening available for them as well, but I can't tell if it means more awakening types or levels or a Duan cap. Then we entered the quality of life updates, with a new feature that lets you see skill descriptions for multiple choice skills, as well as second forms for characters who have that available. A small reorganizing on the quest selection page, so you have the unfinished quests or raids on top, and you won't have to go look for a missing Pride of the Ascendant among these guys, for example. That was followed by the new FP system, that lets you accumulate points whenever you enter a raid with its BP cost reduced, and you can spend said FPs in a dedicated shop. Next, a small update to the full auto, letting characters cast their 0 cooldown skills once per turn. Urius and Summer Shalem are going to be thankful. Also, skills that activate and have their turn off button on 0 cooldowns will not toggle it automatically. Then we finally get more details about the Alchemy system, even though we haven't gotten an actual release date yet. We're going to need to have unlocked Alchemist as a class, as well as have completed the Cagliostro and Clarice side story. It'll have 3 types of crafting, and one of them is going to let us get a new Ouroboros Manatura, which looks pretty cute. Hopefully they don't keep sitting on it for too much longer. These were followed by the 5-star cap details for Fro and Lobelia, with the Whitehair Irune getting extra nukes, free skill activation and lower cooldowns to boot. Looks pretty neat. On the other side, Lobelia also gets more skill damage, more multi-hits and apparently some healing as well. To close things off, more details on the current campaign lasting until the 13th with the 10-part free daily draw, which will be followed by a single free daily draw from the 13th to the 25th, while maintaining most of the usual Magnafest goodies, half cost, double experience, Arcarum bonuses, etc. Of course, once a Magnafest ends, that's when another one begins, and so from August 25th to September 7th, we'll enter part 3 of the Summerfest, which will have the limited campaign quest instead. Then we move on to the far future content, with another Sambrio collab for the 2023 GB Fest, as well as yet another content release schedule. New high-level fights in autumn, another one in winter, followed by a main story update and a new The World raid. Meanwhile, next year we'll see the release of a possible Magna 3 series to coincide with the 10th anniversary. When it comes to the workaround caps, Fro and Lobelia should be coming out this month, Boger and Aselia in October, while Alanan and Katselia will have to wait until next year for theirs. Unlocking the world is also going to require having cleared the Arcarum one, so having at least one 5-star evoker. The world raid will also bring the meds to uncap its own weapon series. Overall, a pretty decent livestream, really looking forward to the King class as well as the new Ultimate Masteries. When it comes to the end of summer banner, I think between the daily free time pools, the time tickets, the Crystal campaign and the Magnafest, they managed to soften the blow a little bit. If I didn't YOLO like a madman, I probably could have had 2 sparks up, which is something I would want to prepare for next year. Alright then, that's going to be it from me for the moment. Let me know which updates you're looking forward to the most down in the comments, and see you soon. Ciao!